Coordinate two separate demand responsive services and also develop technology to make that possible. So that was kind of the gist of what we were going to do with this grant and set out to work on. VIA basically uses route map system for our scheduling, and we partnered with RTD, the Regional Transportation District, for a call-and ride service that we operate or are contracted with RTD in Longmont, Colorado. And we picked Longmont as a location based on the size, based on population and so forth. Thought that'd be a good place to test this pilot program and see where we could take it. Okay. The route map scheduling system, working with Call and Ride, which had a different system, which is demand response solutions. And that's the system that all of the Call and Rides in the RTD service area were using. So basically, as has been discussed already, what we were looking at was two different systems and how could we exchange data between those two systems. The first part was fairly easy. Basically, we knew what trips we had on our vehicles. We knew what trips were on the Call and Ride vehicles, but we couldn't see each other and what was happening. Okay. So the first phase basically that occurred was we were able to get data going in one direction. And what that gave us the ability to do, which was a little cumbersome, but it's basically taking baby steps, was that in our vehicles, we were able to put some Call and Ride tablets along with our existing tablets for the VIA service. So the drivers were able to see what was going on with the trips. Then behind the scenes, we hired a mobility specialist. And this was part of the project. This person was basically, our thought process was to use this person to be able to see what was going on in the two different services, and then actually, in a manual sense, move trips back and forth between the two services where there were gaps in service during the day on those vehicles. So that's how it started. Again, that came fairly simple. We were able to make that happen pretty quick. The part that's taken us, let's see, about 2 years now, was to get the data to go the opposite direction. And I guess I'm looking at it, or what came out of it was really two things. I'm an operations person, so from the IT perspective, I may not have the right technology or the terms that we're looking at, but what we were trying to do is, how do we simplify this whole system and make it just happen? Okay. So that's kind of the stage where we are at this point. We got together with Route Match, with Demand Trend Solutions, had them talk to each other. And I think that was the key thing, is, we were part of that conversation, but I didn't want to get stuck in the middle either. So basically, we brought those two together. Those are the technology people. They knew what their systems could do, couldn't do. And it was surprising that by that conversation, they were able to see that, yeah, there's a lot that we haven't developed yet. And let's move towards developing exactly what's been talked about. How do we get to see that information and use it? And not that it's, and use it quickly. Not that it takes a week for data to get exchanged or a couple days or whatever. Something that you can make it useful for that day. In transportation, we know that you set out with a schedule for the day, but we know that, no sooner are you out of the yard than that changes. With cancellations and all this stuff, so how do you take advantage of that and have those trips available? So where we are currently today, we have tested, and we're still in the test mode, of now having the data go back and forth on a relatively short time period, within several hours. And now what that's been able to do for us is, with our mobility coordinator, specialist basically, she now has the ability to see these trips and is able to make decisions on the fly, where we can see each other's schedules consistently throughout the day. I guess the second part of this whole technology piece is, okay, so that's kind of the way I look at it, that's kind of the operational piece. The other part is the behind the scenes actual data that's available for reporting. So we are currently working on, what does that look like, because now we need to be able to have this data to report out and say, here's the trips that we transferred, here's where they initially started, and between the two services, this is what we're able to do, okay? So far, the results, even up to this stage, have been a lot more than I think we expected. within that Longmont service area, between the two services, we've increased ridership like 30%. And that is a combined of both services. And that was without adding any vehicles, any drivers, any other personnel other than the people behind the scenes with this project, basically. And to be able to report that to a community and then get their support to continue working this technology and working in this direction, I think is really important, as everybody stated, going forward, trying to make this work. So now we are in the process of being able to collect the data. We've increased the ridership. And I guess what the other next phase that we're at right now is RTD also operates Accessoride for the region. We are looking at now, can we add Accessoride as a third party, basically, or service to this, what we've already started. And we'll see, it should be, you would think it would be fairly simple, since Accessoride RTD uses Route Match also. We use Route Match and we have demand trans solutions in the mix. So again, not from a technical standpoint or an IT person, it seems to me like that should be pretty simple. So I think the other thing that we learned from these system providers, the people that are making these systems, that I think they're finally starting to realize, hopefully what's going on out there, that not everybody is going to be able to buy their system. And if we want to continue coordination and going in that direction, there has to be a willingness between those to be partners. And hopefully they see that they get something out of it too, by being able to work with and have a product that they can develop and use regardless of what type of system is out there. So I think that's a barrier, hopefully, that can start to break down. I think that's it.
Thank you very much, Rich.
Yep.